President Donald Trump's $5 million gold card visa program took another step forward this week, as the administration launched a government website for the scheme. But despite the buzz, immigration experts warn the program remains years away from reality. Trump recently announced that the waiting list was now open for his signature immigration program. He encouraged followers to visit the freshly launched trumpcard.gov website, which lets wealthy foreigners register their interest in what he's now calling the Trump card. This program promises permanent U.S. residency and citizenship in exchange for a hefty financial outlay. The website launch, however, has raised immediate red flags among immigration professionals, many of whom question its legitimacy after closely examining its contents. One industry veteran with over 3 decades of experience was especially blunt in his assessment. He described the site as a joke, calling it lazy and amateurish, even saying it looked like it was thrown together in minutes by a teenager. Concerns start with the web address itself. Most immigration applications go through U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, and official government sites begin with USCIS.gov. The trumpcard.gov domain features official government seals, but directs users to a generic Commerce Department email, not what you'd expect for a legitimate immigration program. Adding to the confusion, the website sports the presidential seal and graphics from multiple departments. But when journalists reached out for clarification, the agencies simply pointed questions back to each other. The lack of clear information about how personal data will be handled is especially troubling, as a trustworthy government platform should always explain how it will use and protect your data. Looking closer, there are other problems with the application process on the site. The intake form allows applicants to indicate whether they're an individual or a business, even though companies can't apply for green cards. It also asks for the applicant's region, not a specific country, suggesting the data collection is more about gauging interest than handling real immigration cases. This is especially odd given Trump's history of targeting applicants from certain nations. Even with the launch, the fundamental legal challenges haven't changed. The Trump administration has suggested it could replace the current EB-5 immigrant investor visa through executive action, but legal experts say that's impossible. A president cannot create a visa category out of thin air. That authority lies solely with Congress. The EB-5 program, which Congress authorized and recently updated, continues uninterrupted. Any attempt to bypass Congress would almost certainly be stopped by the courts. The American Immigration Lawyers Association concurs. Only lawmakers can make or break legally established visa categories, and securing congressional support would be a huge political challenge, especially for such a controversial plan. On top of the legal barriers, there are practical problems. Trump has suggested the sale of millions of gold cards could erase the national debt, but these figures don't match up with global wealth data. Even the administration's more modest claims, projecting $1 trillion from 200,000 applicants, don't reflect reality. Most truly wealthy people would not spend more than 10% of their net worth on a program like this. That means only individuals with at least $50 to $100 million would realistically qualify. According to wealth analysts, there are fewer than 30,000 people worldwide who fit that profile, and a third of them are already Americans. Even expanding the pool only brings the potential number of applicants to around 80,000 globally, nowhere near the millions Trump references. History also shows that similar investor programs have failed elsewhere. Spain, for example, ended its property-based investor visa due to impacts on housing affordability. Malta's program faced legal scrutiny from the European Union, and several Caribbean countries have toughened their background checks to avoid problems with money laundering. The number of people able and willing to donate $5 million is quite small, especially compared to nations with flexible residency programs that require investments rather than outright donations. The existing EB-5 program still runs as usual, with processes in place to ensure economic benefits, job creation, and thorough background checks. Last year alone, EB-5 contributed roughly $4 billion to the U.S. economy. The gold card proposal, by removing job creation requirements and background checks, might be easier for applicants, but less beneficial for American workers, and potentially riskier for national security and the country's reputation. Critics argue that this program highlights a troubling approach to immigration, where wealth becomes the determining factor. Many see it as a move to close the door to most immigrants, while opening it even wider for those with deep pockets. Politicians from both parties have voiced their opposition, with some calling it corrupt and counterproductive, and others arguing it undermines efforts to attract skilled workers. Before anything happens, the administration would need to clear a long lineup of legislative and regulatory hurdles. That means passing laws through Congress, building regulatory structure, establishing rigorous anti-fraud systems, getting administration staff trained, and fighting the inevitable legal battles. Immigration experts estimate this process could take years, even if it were legally possible. Some suspect the website launch is more about making a political statement than actually moving toward implementation. For prospective applicants, there seems to be little reason to submit their information now, as the program's future is not just uncertain, it might never happen. At this stage, the Gold Card proposal is an ambitious but largely theoretical attempt to reshape U.S. immigration around wealth, rather than traditional criteria like family, employment, or humanitarian need. The gap between political rhetoric and legal reality is significant. Without congressional approval and clear regulations, the program will remain more promise than practice. For now, if you're wealthy and seeking U.S. residency, the established EB-5 program remains the safest and most reliable option. It offers a legal pathway, clear rules, and operational systems, features the Gold Card lacks. Immigration professionals remain skeptical about Trump's program. They question the timeline, the legal foundations, and the size of the target market. The consensus is clear. The Gold Card story is far from becoming an immigration reality. Unless Congress acts and comprehensive regulations are developed, expert opinion suggests the Gold Card idea is more promise than deliverable policy. If you want to reduce your taxes to single digits, make your assets impossible for anyone to touch, and gain more freedom with second citizenships, get in touch with Liberty Mundo and book a consultation call. We will help you develop a complete blueprint to organize your life to safeguard your wealth and your freedom. Follow the link in the description for more details. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.